Hi friends, today I'll be talking about promoter predictions in prokaryotes and eukaryotes genome. In my previous lectures, when I was talking about the gene predictions, we have discussed all these things, how to predict the genes in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. By keeping all these things in our mind, we will be discussing today about promoter predictions in prokaryotes and eukaryotes genome. So, the objective of this entire discussion is to recognize promoter predictions in prokaryotes as well as in eukaryotes. Already we know that eukaryotes genomic structures level are more complex than the prokaryotes. In prokaryotes, there are many genes which is only regulated by the promoters, and of course the operon, which is that functional unit of transcriptions and gene regulations, right? So if we see the structures of the prokaryotes genome, we have the promoter regions, we have start codons, transcription start sites are there, and exons are there which code for a particular proteins. And once it finds the stop codons, right, is stop to code a particular proteins, right? So the all the transcription initiation start from 5' regions in prokaryotes. But if we see that in eukaryotes genomes, and these structures are more complex than the prokaryotes, where we have genes, and here in eukaryotes each an individual gene is controlled by one promoter, right? So here we have that start codon, of course promoter is there, and we have the transcription sites where transcriptions initiate, right, in terms of the Tata binding, Tata box or Tata binding factors, TBF, and start codons are there. Then exon and introns will be there, plenty of exons and introns will be there, and exons will which codes for the protein or amino acids, and introns will come out through the splicings, right. So many introns will be there, which, as we say, the junk sites, junk DNA, which doesn't code for any amino acids. And then so here is that no, polyadenylation sites already will be there at that three ends. So complexities are more here. So if we talk about the promoters, what actually does it? And the promoters output is that mRNA, already we know, through the transcriptions to the translations. Now here we need to understand that the products of the promoters is mRNA. So here is that mRNA actually play major roles for regulating the genes and their gene expressions, in terms of that if amount of mRNA is high, then gene expression will be high. If amount of mRNA is less, gene expression will be less. No mRNA, no product, no gene expression. So these things we need to understand. And we need to understand also that mapping sites on DNA for the protein binding, that we say that Tata binding factors, where the DNA binds with the proteins. And we need to understand also the general properties of the promoters, add the bacterial promoters, add the things we need to understand also, that E. coli promoters regions, and later stage we will understand about the promoters for the eukaryotic RNA polymerase, right? So here we say that one type of RNA polymerase are there in E. coli promoters, and that regions start -35 regions, -10 regions, and +1 RNA polymerase. So these are the sites are there for that strong E. coli promoters, right? So now if we talk about the general features of promoters, so the promoters is a DNA sequence, of course, and required for the correct initiations of the transcriptions, and the transcription product will be the mRNA, and that amount of that product from the genes, that mRNA we need to understand. And most promoters are start at the 5' of the genes. In prokaryotic promoters, already we have shown that regions, and the combinations of approaches which shows that -10 TATA AT and -35 regions TTGACA sequences are the essential for DNA sequences in most of the E. coli promoters. And the conservations of the DNA sequences at the 5' to the genes, and if any mutation happening, that will increase or decrease the level of accurate transcriptions between this. And of course, the entire DNA sequences contacted by the RNA polymerase, right, where the translations initiate when the RNA polymerase bind with the DNA, and regions protected from the nucleases of the binding of RNA polymerase is -50 to +20. And the prokaryotic promoters, what are the prokaryotic promoters? In terms of the RNA polymerase complex, which recognizes the promoter sequences and located at very close to 5' upstream sites, that we say the initiation sites, and this RNA polymerase directly binds to this, and there's no requirement for the transcription factors, where in the prokaryotic promoter sequences are very highly conserved in -10 regions and -35 regions. So here we can see here that the regions of that E. coli or prokaryotes at -35 or -10 regions, right? If any promoter mutants are there, that can be contacted with the RNA polymerase, right, to give the product. So now we need to understand about the promoters of eukaryotics RNA. So how it functions? So here the thing is, we have the promoters in eukaryotic genomes. A part of that we have the different genes, and the genes will be in upstream regions, work as enhancers, and enhancers will be controlled by either activators or inhibitors, right? So some will be the core promoters, some will be the upstream promoters, that is called the enhancers, right? So, and those enhancer promoter, core promoters have the specific defined regions right? So Tata box are there where also transcriptions initiate, right? Genes are there. So these are the, you see the +1 region, +25, +200, 2000s, and this, right? Where these activators uh, will control enhancer and the inhibitors will be there, and those examples how we like synthesize the DNA binding proteins, right? Later stage we will be discussing about that. So now if you see here that eukaryotic genes, right, which are transcribed by three different RNA polymerase in three different regions: RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 2, and RNA polymerase 3. This is all because of that activator and inhibitors and the enhancer, which are responding differently at the different regions of the proteins, and all things are controlled by the promoters. So eukaryotic promoters and enhancers, we need to understand that promoters located relatively close to the initiation sites, and enhancer also required for transcriptions regulations, and RNA polymerase complex do not specify recognize promoters sequence directly, and transcription factors are there, right, and which will serve as a landmark for that recognitions of DNA polymerase complex, sorry, RNA polymerase complexes where translations start. So transcriptions factors are the DNA binding protein that also interact with RNA polymerase in few cases to activate or repress the transcriptions, right? So transcription factors contain that characteristics of the DNA binding motifs, and it recognizes specific short DNA sequence motifs, that is called the transcription factor binding site, TFBS. And for analyzing and retrieving and exploring these things, when databases are there specific for that transcriptions factor binding site is called that transfac. The URL is given if you are interested to explore these things, to see that what are the transcriptions factor binding site, what is the role of this, right? So you can explore, right? If you have any difficulties to explore those sites, I am here to help you. So one example for this, how this transcription factor binding sites works, is example for that zinc finger proteins, where DNA protein binds with that DNA. So it's a common eukaryotic proteins, which has been estimated 1% of mammalians gene encode zinc finger proteins, and in C. elegans there are 500s, and this can be used as a highly specific DNA binding molecules, right? So what is the role of enhancers, uh, in additional DNA sequences that regulate transcriptions, as I told you, right? Enhancers controlled by the activators and inhibitors. So enhancers which increase the gene expressions can act either orientations, can act in a variety of positions, and 5' to the genes, right, and internal to a genes as an entrance, the 3' to a genes, and can act as a considerable distances from the genes up to at least 50 kb in some cases, and contain a set of binding site for the transcriptions where transcriptions initiate. So there are many approaches are there for finding the promoter regions, which we have already discussed while discussing that uh, gene predictions in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Same methodology are there to find that promoter regions and promoter predictions in prokaryotes and eukaryotes, which we have discussed before. First is that rule based. Some rules as defined in terms of the start and stop codons, right? So based on that, it will identify the promoters sites. And then next is that content based. It only depends upon the promoter sites where transcription initiates in terms of the promoters and how this is regulated by different genes. In prokaryotes, different genes is regulated by the promoters, and but in eukaryotes, each genes is regulated by the promoters. So content based, either that codon bias is there between like in start and stop codons, and many others is coming, and any variations in that codon is that 3 amino acids base pairs. If variations in that in third base pairs, that we say that codon bias. So if anything is there in terms of that GC contents or some others where this type of methylations which suppress the gene activities and adenylations, right? So work as a repressors, initiators. So these all are the things comes under that content based and similarity based, to find out that similar type of genes which are responding in a similar way have the same functions, and the paralogous genes which have different functions. So we need to identify and we need to make the clusters, and what are the regions behind this, right? The genes which are responding in a similar way or different way. So those things we need to understand. And pattern based methods, machine learning approaches, where we are seeing that based on the input, what will be the expected outputs will be there, right? And what are the patterns are there in entire sequences for coding a particular amino acids or particular proteins in set of sequences. And another thing is that ab initio methods, which already we have discussed, is depends upon entirely on that physiochemical properties, modeling methods, simulation methods, right? And we start from all these things from the scratch, right? So to see that how these methods will be taken for finding that promoters in prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. So there are plenty databases are there, plenty resources are there in bioinformatics, right, which we have shown you, right, to find that the gene expressions databases are there, right, ontology databases are there, right, annotations databases are there, and some EST databases are there, and that what you say that array express databases are there, which is there in EMBL and EBI. Even we have shown you there in EMBL and EBI plenty of resources and tools are there, so which can be used to understand this type of things. And being a bioinformatician, if you work in all the databases, right, the primary databases, you will be understanding many more things in details, right, at this stage, like NCBIs are there, EMBL, EBIs are there, data bank of Japan's are there, right? So where all the resources are there to explore the knowledge, right, explore the informations, and those information can be converted into the knowledge, right? So if you have any questions, in exploring the databases and tools, right? So you can ask here it directly in class or itself, or you can come in person and discuss with me, so that it will be really beneficial for you to explore. Because for all these things you need to have the sequences and find how it works, and you have to analyze the data which are there. So thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask.